Welcome back to Hannity. So Donald Trump is not the only 2016 Republican presidential candidate that is now surging in the polls. In fact, after a strong debate performance last week, former Hewlett-Packard CEO Carly Fiorina, she is gaining momentum. Here to discuss her rise in a crowded GOP field is the woman herself, 2016 Republican candidate for president, Carly Fiorina. Welcome back. By the way, congratulations. I saw the debate, put in a really strong performance, and obviously the voter, everyone watching did as well. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Sean, and it's great to be with you.
All right, let me start with the Hillary server scandal. You've been very critical, probably more than any other candidate, of Hillary Clinton. You've talked about the server. You talked about her position on Planned Parenthood. Where do you stand now in light of the new information we have today?
Well, you know, I said in my closing comments at that Fox News debate that Hillary Clinton has lied about Benghazi, about her emails, about her server. And there were some in the liberal media who said, wow, that's really strong language. But of course, it's the right language. She has lied. And I think the more that we learn, the more we know that that's true.
Do you think some of your fellow candidates might be afraid to say, I agree with you, she lied? I mean, it's as plain as day to me. I think she really has a very difficult legal problem on her hands now. We'll watch this unfold as it relates to the server. But some people are timid. They're a little afraid to say she lied. Why do you think that is? Do you think they're afraid, maybe some of the men in the race, that they may be accused of a war on women type of thing?
No, actually, I don't think it's gender. I think it is that the political class speaks in certain terms. Sort of sanitized sound bites and what I call bumper sticker rhetoric. By any common sense definition, she has lied. But somehow politicians don't always use common sense terms or plain language. But I think by any common sense definition, the same you and I would use, if you say you don't have a server and you do, you lied. If you say you didn't pass classified information and you did, you lied. If you say it was a video and it turns out to be a purposeful terrorist attack, which you knew at the time, you lied.
All right, let me ask you, that was a Newt earlier about the year of the insurgent. It's you, it's Donald Trump, it's Ted Cruz, it's Ben Carson, and out of nowhere came the curmudgeon 73-year-old socialist Bernie Sanders. What does that tell you about the electorate right now and where their minds are?
Well, as you and I have discussed before, Sean, there's no doubt from every poll that the vast majority of Americans, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, whether they're young or old, whether they're men or women, 80+% of Americans believe we have a professional political class that cares more about its position and privilege than it does about solving the problem. And as I also said at that debate, whatever your issue, whatever your cause, whatever festering problem you hoped would have been solved by now, the political class has failed you. I think people understand our nation is at a pivotal point. I think people understand real leadership is necessary to challenge the status quo and get some of this done. And so I think they're looking for something and someone different than the typical politician from the political class.
Carly, they have robbed us blind. 18 trillion in debt going to 20, 128 trillion in unfunded liabilities, 94 million Americans out of the labor force, 50 million in poverty, 46 million on food stamps. I say it all the time. You know, I like your outspokenness. I like Donald Trump's outspokenness. You have been probably, of all the other candidates, the harshest critic of Donald. I think Republicans have been way too politically correct and too timid in Washington in particular. I think some governors have been more aggressive in advancing a conservative agenda and vision. But you're outspoken. Why are you so critical of his outspokenness?
Well, I don't think I'm particularly critical of his outspokenness. I have said over and over again that Donald Trump taps into this anger that people feel about festering problems that somehow never get solved.
But Carly, I'm
frankly,
angry.
I'm critical of anyone. Frankly, I'm critical of anyone that tends to paint with a broad brush and insult when it's not necessary. There's no reason to be insulting people.
I'm angry that Republicans swore that they would replace and repeal Obamacare. They didn't do it. They ran in 2014 and they said they'd stop executive amnesty, and they funded it. I'm angry at them.
That's right.
So is that
Me too.
So
Me
you say
too.
he's tapping into that?
That's why I'm running for
Yeah.
That's why I'm running for president, because I've concluded that all these people who've been in politics their entire life don't know how to fix it. In other words, they don't know how to translate words into results. It's one thing to give a speech. It's another thing to take the ideas contained in that speech and turn it into action and results. But let me just say, Sean, I'm equally critical when President Obama paints all Republicans as being the equivalent of Iranian hardliners just because they think he negotiated a bad deal. He did negotiate a bad deal, and when he insults everyone who disagrees with him by calling them either stupid or politically motivated or venal, all of which President Obama has done, I'm equally critical. It doesn't help us solve problems.
Carly Fiorina, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.